Duel Links has a huge new update, and with it are a bunch of new powerful cards. Hello, I hope you are having a perfectly balanced day. Today's video will be about the new deck, Swordsoul Tenyi. I will show you a deck profile, followed by gameplay. To see more videos for the TCG, Duel Links, and Master Duel, consider pressing the big red button and leaving a comment down below. But with no further ado, enjoy! So the two ways to play this deck are with the new skill for Ecclesia and Iris. This version of the deck also plays Albaz, and the other way to play it is with Tenyi, because this skill locks you out of using Tenyis. Is one of these ways to play the deck objectively better than the other? No. The truth is that they are both good for different reasons, and I will do another video on the Virtuous Bonds version too. The skill for the Virtuous Bonds version is good because it gives you more room for tech cards while still having a decently high ceiling. If you're not familiar with the word ceiling in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, in a vacuum it usually means how much your deck is able to do. And the benefit of this Tenyi version is that although we have much less tech room, we have an incredibly high ceiling, even without some sort of crazy skill. And that is because the Tenyi cards in this deck are fantastic. The skill we play is Elemental Order Mystical Space Typhoon. This lets us effectively search MST, and that isn't bad at all. This allows us to push better into certain boards going second, and in certain matchups, having an MST going first is also very nice. The skill also lets us put back MST to draw a card, but keep in mind that you cannot do both of these effects in the same turn. I will go through and explain the Swordsoul cards in this deck, and then talk about Ecclesia, as Ecclesia is not a card that you actually need 3 of in this version of the deck, but in the other version you do. Moye is the best and almost only normal summon in the deck. It spawns a token which is the gimmick of the main deck Swordsoul monsters by revealing a Swordsoul card or a worm monster. And then when you synchro it off, you can draw a card which is really good as well, because a lot of the time we are summoning Chijao, which allows us to search or banish a Swordsoul card on summon. So you go normal Moye, reveal a card, special a token, synchro off into Chijao, then you go Chainlink 1, Chijao to search, Chainlink 2, Moye to draw. It's important to put the chainlinks in this order, not just for avoiding certain negation on Chijao, but also so that you can see what you draw before you choose what to search with Chijao. You can search or banish with that effect of Chijao. Most of the time, you are searching. The exception is when you want to banish Blackout from deck, as doing so will then spawn a token. Blackout is a fantastic card in this deck, as it is great interruption. It's a pop 2 that when banished spawns a token, so even when you don't banish it from deck with Chijao, you can banish it from grave with Chijao's other effect, which is targeted negation. The tokens that Swordsoul spawn are all level 4 tuners and lock you into synchros until they leave the board. The other normal summon in the deck is Taye, which spawns a token with its ignition effect of banishing a Swordsoul or worm from your grave. Then, when you synchro it off with that token, you can send any worm or Swordsoul card from deck to grave, which lets you dump a Tenyi monster, such as Ashuna, which can get the ball rolling with those cards. You can also dump Moye if you synchro into Baxia. Baxia is insane in this deck. This card is actually crazy. You get to shuffle back 1 to 2 cards when you summon it, and you also get to reborn a monster. So you can go Taye synchro into Baxia, Taye dump Moye. If you are going second, you can shuffle back 2 cards with Baxia, then you can use Baxia's other effect to reborn the Moye, go Moye effect into Chijao, and get a bunch of advantage from that. Long Yuan is a great card, even without Baron de Fleur in the game or the other level 10 Swordsoul synchro. You discard a worm or Swordsoul card to special it, and a Swordsoul token, then in most cases, you are using these to make a level 10 synchro. You don't really have space for a card like Ruddy Rose, but that's fine because Cheng Ying is one of the best synchro monsters ever. It has a great stat manipulation effect, and an even better destruction protection effect by banishing a card from grave. And the best part is the third effect, which, if a card is banished by any means, banishes both a card on their field and a card in their graveyard. So, let's say for example, your opponent has 3 good cards on their field and 1 good card in their graveyard, and you don't want them to have these cards. So, you can go Blackout, targeting the Tenyi on your field, and 2 of the cards on their field. Tenyi avoids destruction by banishing a card from your grave, then 2 of their cards get destroyed by Blackout. Then in a new chain, since you banished a card, Tenyi banishes both a card from their field and from their grave. You can also trigger that effect with Chixiao's negate effect, since it has to banish from your grave. Long Yuan also has a random burn effect, which is quite relevant for applying quick pressure. The last Swordsoul card is Emergence, which searches any of the 3 main deck monsters, or can also search a worm monster if you control a synchro, which lets you bridge into your Tenyis. And if you banish Emergence, you can modulate a level by 1. The common use of this is to reduce the level of a monster to make a level 7 synchro, such as Yazi. Then lastly, Ecclesia is a strong card going second, as you can just special it and go into Moye or Taye, but it's actually not that important in this build compared to the Virtuous Bonds variant. That's because we already have all of our Tenyi extension, and we don't play the Albaz in this version of the deck. And going first, it is only a normal summon. The card is still great and you should play it, but if you don't have 3 or any, then don't worry, as you can just play stuff like a 3rd Vishuda, a 3rd Adhara, or random tech cards like Droplet, or even a 3rd MST, or 2nd Blackout. There's also the Reborn spell 2 for Swordsoul, but you don't need that. The Tenyi cards are amazing in this deck, and it's the reason why I like this variant so much. They are level 7, with a level 1 tuner, which lets you use them to bridge into Swordsoul by just making Chixiao. So it's quite nice that both engines can bridge into each other. And going second, Tenyis are still engine cards, but they also help you break boards, with Vishuda and Baxia. I play 3 Vessel and 3 Circle because they are both amazing, and to make them better, I play 1 of the level 4 Tenyis, just because there are some scenarios where you want to search or summon it to synchro with a Swordsoul token. Shafana I just think is the best level 4 Tenyi, but the difference between it and the other 2 is small. The last 2 cards in the main deck are 2 MST for the skill. I like this main deck a lot, because although your deck is all gas, you get to just turn something in your hand into MST. One downside of this build is the extra deck is very tight, as you want 3 Monk for your large Tenyi engine. Chixiao is a card I wish I had 2 of sometimes, but Yazi is also useful. You can either make it with lowering the level with Emergence, or you can make Yazi with Adhara plus Long Yuan. The Tenyi is amazing, Baxia is also amazing. Sometimes 2 comes up because Baxia is not hard once per turn, but space in this build is quite tight. Berserker is great, as it is also a Tenyi monster and has a great effect. This deck is really good and very fun to play. It's also, for how good it is, isn't that hard to obtain, especially with how you do not need 3 Ecclesia, and you can play less Ashina if you want to as well. You do want at least 2 Ashina, but just 1 works fine. The Tenyi cards are terrifying to play against. While the Virtuous skill does let you normal summon twice, you don't need to when you have Tenyi cards, but on the flip side, you do have more tech space with that build. However, with this version, you can play through Imperm even without your 2nd normal summon, because you have your Tenyi cards, in addition to Circle, which is insane value if you chain this to Imperm on Moye. Some people might see this deck and be concerned of how few tech cards you play, but the truth is, you don't need many tech cards in this deck, because the Tenyi cards, combined with the Swordsoul cards, just do so much. Going first, you just search Blackout on top of Chixiao plus Tenyi, and going second, you just push into their board with Tenyi cards. If they have Despian Comedy for Vishuda, then Masquerade can be an issue, and that is a valid reason to play the Virtuous version instead, but otherwise this build is good because searching MST does do quite a lot. That was the deck profile, and enjoy the gameplay. So I have 4 different games to show you today. The first 2 are recorded offline and they are games going first to show combos. The other 2 are from the live stream and they are games going second to show you how the deck breaks boards. To catch me playing live, you can find me on Twitch, where I stream on Tuesdays at 2 PM EST. This first gameplay is an offline recording, and this is going first to show you the full combo. This is the full combo with a combo that takes pretty much every card in your hand to make, but it's a pretty strong turn 1, as you will see. Gonna go skill, put back MST, draw a card. And you do not need this exact combination of 4 cards, but pretty much the way that you get to this full combo is you make Chi Zhao using the Tenyi cards. So you essentially get to 2 level 8 synchros, and then you make space by making Shaman, to then make space for the 3rd synchro, and then reborn the 1st synchro with the Shaman. So do it in this order by going through Chi Zhao first, get Blackout, add Hara, add back Ashuna, Emergence, add Moye, Moye, reveal, and then go into Berserker, draw a card, make Shaman, and the card you draw off Moye there doesn't matter. Essentially the card you draw off Moye is what you discard off of Shaman. So burn for 6, reborn, and that is the end board of 3 synchros, being the Berserker, the Chi Zhao, the Cheng Ying, and a set Blackout. I think this is also a nice time to mention that you can play Dragite in your deck, the spell Trap Negate, but it's quite hard to find space for it in this build, especially when you are quite often locked into Worms by Ashuna. But that's definitely a card which I think has more of a place in the Virtuous Bonds variant. So yeah, what happened there was they got 3 bodies on board, and we went Blackout to pop 2 of them, and then protected with the Cheng Ying. So then in a new chain we can use Cheng Ying to banish dice from field and Duke from graveyard. So that 1 activation cleared 3 things from their field and the Duke from their graveyard. Okay, make Kite Drake and we just go Chi Zhao to negates. So now they have forced everything. They forced the Berserker, the Blackout, the Cheng Ying, and the Chi Zhao, and they hit a good card off of the Piper there as well. However, the Cheng Ying makes it really hard for them to push the lethal. They did roll a 1, but I think even if they rolled more than 1, it would be quite tricky for them here. And because they attempted to pop the Cheng Ying, we can banish Blackout, so then they have to choose between attacking over the Shaman or the token. Yeah, they correctly chained to the shooter there, because otherwise I can just Cheng Ying banish with Clear Wing in a new chain when they try to tag out with a synchro. Summon, bounce, effect negate. So I think what they should have done here was just go Clear Wing to negate this instead of this Clear Wing, because they're going to have to negate this with the Fast Dragon anyway. So that way they would still have the negate from Clear Wing left, but as you will see that will not matter, because we can quite easily chain block against this Clear Wing by going Chainlink 1 Baxia, target these 2, and Chainlink 2 Taie to dump, because now you cannot negate Baxia with Clear Wing, because the last thing in the chain is Taie. So unable to negate, pop Reborn, and then that is GG. Not only the strong turn 1 board, but how hard it is for them to both not only break the board, and also go for game as well. And we have one more offline replay here. This is going first once again, but this time against the Utopia deck. And this is the standard combo. In the last game I showed you the full combo. This is the more regular combo. So we go Moye, reveal, summon a token, Vessel, dump, search. You want to Vessel at this point because if you Vessel any later, you won't have the space to do Ashana. Chijao here. Chijao, search, Moye, draw. Do it in this order so you can see what you draw first. Get Blackout, go for Monk. Pitch, summon. There you go, Crow on Hara, that's fine. Go Chengying, and then burn for 6, set 2 pass. Zexal Morph. We have both Sage, Utopia, 2 4s. And they do this in the wrong order because I think what you're meant to do is do the skill first to spawn Utopia, and then do the rank up spell onto Utopia. Because if you do that, I'm forced to chain Blackout on Utopia and the rank up, so that you don't negate the entire board with the Numeron Force. But they sequenced it a bit bad because now I get even more value from Blackout. But I don't think it matters either way, because even if you do that first, where you do skill into this and then go Numeron Force, I can just chain Blackout, and then you only have 3 or 4 cards left to beat Chijao and Chengying, which you can't really do, especially with the MST to pop the equipped Zexal weapon. That was an example of first the big combo and then the regular combo, and now we're going to move on to some live gameplay. So for this first live game, I'm going to be showing you going second against Shaddoll. Currently it is sped up while they're going through their turn 1, and they don't use their interaction perfectly, but I think either way it's a good way to show you how you can beat Winder with the help of the Tenyi engine, and also adding MST to your hand is really good against Schism, because if you chain MST to Schism, it will not resolve. Okay, well, one of those cycles we put away for a MST in a moment. Put back the circle, add MST, then we go Emergence to add a Moye. We'll show them Adhara because they know I have Adhara in hand already. Chain L Fusion. And we can go fuse off those into Winder. We summon the token. Okay, this is good. They can banish this if they want to. But now I can just make Yazi if I want to as well. I can make Yazi. I don't think it's better than Chijao here, no. Swordsoul best deck? It is, it is. Surprise Vegeta from the hand onto Winder, so they go, what, chain IP here, make Unicorn, but I have Circle, which is pretty good, so definitely quite nice. I think that if they had seen this coming, they would probably make a way to keep the gravity on the board, and then IP away itself and gravity into Unicorn, and put back the token before I get a chance to Vegeta. The Virtuous skill does a few different things. You can reveal Ecclesia or Iris to add Ecclesia or any Swordsoul card. If your opponent has a card in their graveyard or field, you can normal summon twice, which is really good, but we're not playing it because it locks you into Swordsoul cards and cards that mention Albaz, so you can't play Tenyis. Let's grab ourselves a Ashuna. Yeah, I think it's... Wait, no, we got Ashuna, we can't. So I think it is just Shafana, weirdly enough here. Yeah. Go Shafana effects. Then effect of choose out a search. Grab Long Yuan. Gonna go Long Yuan, pitch Adhara. Summon itself and the token. And then, because we have a token on our field, we can go Adhara, add back the shooter. May as well. Yeah, this should just be game here, right? Because they're getting debuffed by 200. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's game even without the burn from Long Run as well. Yeah, cool. Effect to burn. We keep MST in the hand because they haven't used Schism yet, because our first action in the game was add MST, which add MST is evidently very good into the Shaddoll board because you can just MST Schism and then the shooter bounce the window. Sick. Okay, not a bad hand for going second. Not the greatest either. And to striker, ooh, this could be pretty good because we can go like Moye and then they anchor it and we go chain circle. Reveal Rose, Hamp, Jarring Waves. Okay, this looks pretty good for me if they didn't have engaged in my hand already. Because that's a really bad area 0. Add Rose, send Afterburners. Normal summon Rose. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's looking good for me. Make kinda here. Okay, they have engaged in my hand. I feel like though you would just go skill pitch the Yankovo, right? Like, could you get a free draw if you just go skill pitch Yankovo? Engage, add anchor, draw a card. So they didn't add multi-roll, so maybe they're like going to set 3. Either that or they're going for like some kind of rank 4 play because they haven't used the skill to draw yet. So they're going to go like skill send off this and make a Dweller in the EMZ. Duel would be a bit annoying, but not too bad. Guys, can Blue Eyes be meta? Blue Eyes is definitely fine for ladder, but for tournament play I don't think it will be too great. What did Blue Eyes get? It got like some ritual stuff, it got Jet. Yeah, from what I remember it getting, I can think Blue Eyes will probably be like a solid deck for ladder, but not for like tournament play. And normally the tier list that you see is made for tournaments. Okay, so now we are snowballing an advantage. Set 1, set 2. Okay, not setting for multi-roll, which is interesting. Make sure they haven't used the skill yet, have they? No, okay. Add a linkage. And then pass. Okay, not bad, not bad. Alright, we're gonna go special Ecclesia and then go Moye. Normally with Moye, I don't show them Long Yuan because they're more inclined to negate it if you show them Long Yuan, and if you have Long Yuan, then you want them to negate Moye. So what I'm gonna do is dodge the anchor here. And then use the skill to show the Long Yuan, grab MST and hit the other back row. Okay, they didn't Widow Anchor that. Okay, sure. I think now then we just go reveal Long Yuan, put back Ecclesia. Gonna Eagle Booster, the Shizuku there. Sure. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so we can go... If I just MST Anchor right, it's fine, because if they go Anchor take Moye, they lose. Because then I can attack Moye. Yeah, Chain Anchor, target Moye. And if you take it, I think you just die. We can do this first. Like this, pitch for Blackout. It's cool we got both Eldritch and the Souls in the same box. There's a lot of cool stuff in this box. I'm a big fan of it. It's very fun. Effect. Add Taye. To the field, no. And it's a hand normal it. They do have a Droll. Okay, Droll. That doesn't make much of a difference to my play, I think. Now we can Chi Zhao though. Cool, so we can just banish like a random card from a graveyard here. And then we go into Draco Berserker. We go Taye effects, Taye dump, something random, like an Ashu now, I guess. And then go Battle Phase, punch over Moye. And then attack again into Shizuku. And then attack the game with Chungying. Berserker can attack twice if it destroys a monster in battle. And the Shizuku would not die in battle because of the Eagle Booster. Thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed and or found this video useful. Be sure to subscribe, have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and adios. Want to be a pro at the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG? If you are one of the first 100 to use code BALANCE100, you get your first month in this Metafy community for free. As part of this, you get personalized deck building help with a 24/7 deck doctor, meta breakdown videos, Q&A, and more. You also get a big discount on any additional content. So all you have to do is make your account on Metafy, then when you go to subscribe to research a tier, just enter the promo code BALANCE100. But make haste, because this trial month only works for the first 100 people.